And now for our new segment, the Midterms Minute, a look at the candidates and races that you need to know about, shout about, and support to make sure we have a blue tsunami on November 6th. Primary season is in full swing. Democratic Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez knocking out Democrat Joe Crowley in New York last month was the primary victory heard around the world, and we are going to need more progressive wins like that to solidify the message that real reform is finally here. And to help me tell you about all the details, I've brought in a ringer, our activism czar Amanda Hoffman, who did all of the research for this segment.
Tennessee's Democratic primaries take place August 2nd. In Tennessee's 2nd District, brand new Congress has endorsed Mark Whitmire, a former veteran and small business owner, for Congress. And in Tennessee's 3rd District, Dr. Danielle Mitchell, a family physician, has also been endorsed by brand new Congress. In the governor's race, former Tennessee governor and moderate Democrat Phil Bredesen is already leading in the polls against rabid Trump Republican Marsha Blackburn in the race for Bob Corker's Senate seat. Unfortunately, Bredesen was not primaried, so progressives will have to hold their noses in the general election. If you're a Tennessee resident and you were registered to vote by July 3rd, you can vote in the primaries. If you miss this cutoff, be sure to get registered before October 9th to be able to vote in the general election. After Tennessee, the next slew of Democratic primaries will be held on August 7th in Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, Ohio, and Washington state.
In Kansas's 3rd District, labor lawyer Brett Welder has received endorsements from every progressive organization, including the Congressional Progressive Caucus. He previously worked on Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign and is running on a platform of a $15 minimum wage and Medicare for all. In Kansas's 4th District, civil rights lawyer James Thompson is running for Congress and has received the same progressive endorsements as Welder. If he wins his primary, Thompson will run against a vulnerable incumbent backed by the Koch brothers. If you're a resident of Kansas, you need to be registered by July 17th to vote in the primaries and by October 16th to vote in the general.
In Missouri's 1st District, Cori Bush, a former teacher, registered nurse, and pastor, is running for Congress against a longtime Democratic incumbent. She's recently been the victim of vicious sexist trolling and is not having any of it. She's endorsed by brand new Congress, Justice Democrats, and others. It's also worth noting that moderate Democrat Senator Claire McCaskill is facing a hell of a fight to retain her seat in the general. Although she is no favorite of progressives, the left can't afford to lose her seat. Another nose-holding situation for November. If you are a Missouri resident, your voter registration must be complete or postmarked no later than July 11th to vote in the primary, and October 10th to vote in the general.
Michigan and Washington state are chock full of progressive candidates endorsed by progressive issues organizations. Instead of listing them all today, I encourage you to go to justicedemocrats.com and brandnewcongress.org and click on the respective candidates tabs to see their endorsements. Make particular note of the governor's race in Michigan, where Justice Democrat Dr. Abdul El-Sayed, a Rhodes Scholar, physician, and former health commissioner of Detroit, is gaining media attention. You must be registered to vote by July 9th to vote in the Michigan and Washington primaries.
And finally, Ohio is having a special election for their 12th District congressional seat that has been empty since January. The winner could hold the seat for just 5 months, depending on the general, but those months will matter. Danny O'Connor is the Democrat in this race. He doesn't have the far-left endorsements, but he does have Democratic Progressives of Ohio, Planned Parenthood, and the regional SEIU. And that's going to have to be good enough because Trump won this district. If you're an Ohio resident of District 12, you must be registered to vote by July 9th to vote in the special election. Early voting starts on July 10th, and absentee ballots must be postmarked by August 6th and received by the 17th.
We want to emphasize registration cutoff dates and absentee ballot requests and submission dates are different for each state, sometimes even each county. We highly suggest reviewing your state's information and voter ID laws at rockthevote.org as soon as possible to ensure you will be able to vote in both the primary and general elections. Now, I know we threw a lot of names and dates at you today. Of course, you can go back and listen to them if you need the information again, but we hope you'll take a moment to check the segment notes, which include all of the links to this information, as well as additional resources. And today's Midterm Minute, just as every activism segment we produce, is archived and organized under the Activism tab at bestofleft.com. So if building the bluest of blue waves is important to you, be sure to hit the share buttons to spread the word about supporting progressive candidates across the country via social media so that others in your network can spread the word too.